Good morning. I'm glad to be here. Thank you for tuning me in or allowing me to tune in with you all. I'd like to start off with a brief report about the peach season. And peaches are in season now. And despite the dry weather that occurred early on in the summer, uh, they say that the peaches, particularly down in the peach area, down in southern pines and towards the South Carolina border, have been abundant. Peak peach season in North Carolina is well underway, and many farms are expecting an extended season through October this year. Due to the warmer winter, many farms didn't get a freeze after peaches began budding this year, said Agriculture Commissioner Steve Troxler. That, combined with the sandy soil and good drainage where they grow best, means our farmers have plenty of peaches at the farm stands, farmers markets, and in the grocery store. Between 2017 and 2022, the number of peach farms and total peach acreage increased in North Carolina. As of the 2022 Census of Agriculture, North Carolina had 356 peach farms on a total of 1,273 acres. North Carolina grows more than 24 varieties of peaches. Growers are harvesting clingstone peaches now and will begin harvesting freestone varieties near the end of the month. So that is already underway. And this is a quote from Kayla Day, marketing specialist with the North Carolina Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services. And during July, they had all kinds of celebrations and acknowledgments down in the peach area, and that was very nice. Liam mentioned that I would talk about Smokey the Bear, and Smokey the Bear is an iconic hero and has helped prevent forest fires just by his warm and infectious embrace. At the halfway point, when Allied forces stormed the beaches of Normandy, this is going back with some history now, to embark on the liberation of Western Europe. This occurred on June the 6th. Franklin Delano Roosevelt's successful re-election bid that made him the only U.S. president to serve a fourth term. Another iconic household name took shape in 1944. So in 1944, on June the 6th, D-Day occurred. Then later, in November of 44, of course, was the local election when President Franklin D. Roosevelt was reelected for the fourth term. Smokey Bear and his association with World War II goes far beyond the time stamps previously mentioned. In the spring of 1942, a few months after the bombing of Pearl Harbor, Japanese submarines surfaced just off the west coast and fired upon various sites in Oregon and California. Aside from triggering a wave of concern throughout the U.S., the bombardments were largely ineffective. Not only were Americans concerned about the loss of life and property that could ensue from future artillery strikes, the increased risk of wildfires due to detonation was something to consider with so many first responders enlisted and away from the home front due to war. Over the next 2 years, right around the time the movie Bambi was entertaining American cinema, U.S. government officials began diligently constructing posters, catchphrases, and slogans geared toward raising awareness about the importance of being careful with fire. On August the 9th, 1944, the U.S. Forest Service officially authorized Smokey Bear to be its wildfire prevention icon, and the rest as we know it is history. Since then, Smokey Bear and his timeless wildfire prevention message has echoed across generations through comics, songs, apparel, school visits, community outreach events, and radio and television commercials. While Smokey's message might have a little bit of age on it, everyone's favorite wildfire prevention bear hasn't lost a step and remains committed to educating people about the importance of following his 5 simple steps for preventing fires. And they include: number 1, only you can prevent wildfires. Number 2, always be careful with fire. Number 3, never play with matches or lighters. Number 4, always watch your campfire. Number 5, make sure your campfire is completely out before leaving it. North Carolina residents living in a state that sees more than 4,500 wildfires annually need to consider removing the cobwebs and dusting off this message, as 99% of those wildfires are in the hands of human activity. It's our fault, you might say. Careless debris burning, escape campfires, and machine and vehicle use are just a few of the many human-initiated ignition sources that can and will result in wildfires of epic proportion. While Smokey's birthday may be confined to a single day, the North Carolina Forest Service is celebrating Smokey all this year for his 80 years of dedication and service to preventing wildfires. Earlier in May, during the Got to Be NC festival, the North Carolina Forest Service held a special birthday celebration for the Gentle Giant with an array of Smokey prizes, a birthday banner signed by festival goers, and the singing of Happy Birthday led by North Carolina Commissioner of Agriculture Steve Troxler. Smokey programs will remain a constant during the 2024 North Carolina State Fair. The North Carolina State Fair is scheduled for October the 17th through the 27th, upcoming in October. And as the North Carolina Forest Service will unveil a new campfire safety program to help reinforce Smokey's lifelong mission. However, attendance to a special event or community fair is not the only means to visit with the folk hero. Smokey and his message is everywhere, and it's for everyone. You can also learn how to be the best defense against future wildfires by taking in a ranger-led program at your nearest educational state forest, or contacting your local Forest Service county ranger about having Smokey visit you and your friends at school. Smokey and his forest friends need your help to protect North Carolina's forests. Contact information for your local North Carolina Forest Service county office can be found online. To learn more about Smokey Bear and to access his wildfire prevention resources, you can contact your local county forest ranger. So we are now in the midst of commemorating and celebrating Smokey Bear's 80th birthday. And he is a very fine example of what we should do, and the hero of boys and girls. We've had quite a bit of erratic weather. It seems like we have it every year now, but we had extended hot, dry weather, and appeared as if we couldn't get a rain. Then once it started to rain, we've had ample. And this, believe it or not, has had an impact, or not just now, but through the years. This kind of extreme weather has an impact on our forests. And the weather's impact indeed impacts the health of our forests. The health of North Carolina's forests can be negatively impacted by a number of factors such as wildfire, insects, and diseases. Elements such as these are a major threat to our forest resources, with insects and diseases claiming more timber each year than any other forest menace. In many cases, these influences are driven, almost encouraged, by human activity. Human behavior accounts for 99% of all wildfires in North Carolina by means of escape debris burns, campfires, fireworks, incendiary and machine and vehicle use. By moving untreated firewood, folks are contributing to the spread of tree-destroying insects, helping them reach their next area of infestation. Soil and plant material containing traces of disease can be transported by unsanitary tools, equipment, vehicles, and even shoes. More land is being taken out of production as many healthy and highly productive forests are cut over for a quick profit, then left idle while thousands of acres are lost each year to poor forest management. But wait, there's more. Another factor, one is simply unavoidable, relentlessly looms annually and appears in many forms, and that has to be the weather. Forest health in North Carolina is negatively impacted by storms and other weather events such as hurricanes. Atlantic hurricane season spans June 1st to November 30th. Tornadoes, ice storms, drought, excessive rainfall, sea level rise, and other weather events which are predicted to increase in the future are outlined in the North Carolina Forest Action Plan. Tree damage and storms occur across North Carolina, and thunderstorms frequently leave tree damage in their wake, while less frequent tornadoes, ice storms, and hurricanes inflict serious and widespread tree damage. As these major weather events impact forest resources, they'll continue to pose challenges to traditional forest management strategies and potentially compound other forest threats. A tornado is a gruesome, terrible thing, and it can create so much damage. Most of North Carolina's forest insects are secondary, meaning that the insect follows some sort of stressor. This is explained by Wayne Langston, forest health specialist with the NC Forest Service. When a storm occurs and puts that additional stress on a tree or group of trees, secondary insects such as the IPS engraver beetle can sense that stress and move to attack that tree along with the surrounding trees around it. The IPS engraver beetle have been highly active throughout the state in recent years, attacking stressed pine trees along the way. However, storms are not the only factor. Trees can become stressed from overstocking, periodic drought, excessive soil wetness, and other abiotic stressors, which are non-living parts of an ecosystem such as wind, fire, and weather. Invasive plants have the same opportunity and access to move into certain areas. We have that to deal with. Then we have drought is challenging more and more every year, it appears, and it challenges in more ways than one, as it can go somewhat unnoticed in regard to trees, but yet there's internal damage, and it can stress, it can stagnate, it can slow the thriving of a forest stand somewhat. And so you need to consider good management there. And nature will continue to impact this and come and go. Some rules or techniques that might be considered: thinning the pine stand to get some of the dead wood out of the area to allow the healthy trees to thrive. Site monitoring, aerial and ground surveys such as this. I see my time is up once more. It comes and goes so quickly. Thank you for allowing me into your home. I look forward to being with you next week. Have a good week, and God bless you.